Hey everyone, and welcome to Chef AJ Live. I'm your host, Chef AJ, and this is where I introduce you to amazing people like you who are doing great things in the world that I think you should know about. My guest today is Chef Ramses Bravo, the executive chef of the True North Health Center. He is my brother from another mother, and he is one of the bundle contributors. What is the bundle, you may ask? Well, the bundle is now in day 8 of 10 days. It's a 10-day period where for a mere $49, you can get over $4,700 worth of content, unique products, 111 or 12, I believe, that are created by your favorite plant-based chefs like Chef Ramses Bravo. As a matter of fact, there's over 1,000 whole food, plant-based, oil-free recipes in the bundle. Your favorite plant-based doctors, for example, Dr. John McDougall and Dr. Joel Furman, Dr. Brooke Goldner, so many, too many to name. Your favorite plant-based influencers and athletes and more. There's even a $10 coupon off your purchase of Plant Strong products, so it makes it $39. And today we have Chef Bravo talking about the course that he has contributed to the bundle, which basically sells within about $2 worth the course of the bundle. So you're getting his course and another $4,700 worth of content. And he's going to tell you about it today. Please welcome him to the show. Thanks for coming on. And also thanks for being in the bundle.
Hey, AJ, how you doing? Hello, everybody.
Good. I'm live at least 5 times a day. And so I don't have time to watch everything, but I'm on your mailing list and I can see that you have been doing what warms my heart. You've been meeting other people in the bundle. You've been collaborating. You've been interviewing them. And I want to thank you for that, because that's what we need because it's just, yes, we would love to sell the bundle, but it's really about creating community and getting this message out to more people. So thank you, because I see you interviewed Sarah Levite and I'm going to catch up on it, but thank you for being a collaborator in the bundle.
No, thank you. I had not met a lot of these collaborators, and yes, I have been meeting with them via Zoom, and I've gotten to know some great ladies. Justina Ferrasi from Germany, and I was talking to Janie Gordard in London, who I guess I just found out that she is Dr. Sabatino's partner.
Yeah,
so lucky guy. She's a great.
She's beautiful, and he's a handsome guy too. I know, isn't it cool? They have this long distance romance.
Are you taking credit for that one, for your
that one? No, that one I'm not. But there's a lot in the plant-based world that I can't take credit for. But she is gorgeous. I met her in Cleveland a couple of years ago.
Yeah, so I've been meeting just great people. I guess extending my community, as you say. And what sticks out to me the most is some of their personal stories. Like Janie, who I was talking to yesterday, she happened to mention that she was a dancer. And then later on, as we were doing the interview, I was like, oh, so, and you're also a dancer, right? After she explained that she was the president of the CMA. And just that little question really opened up her story of how she was a ballerina, and then suddenly she got rheumatoid arthritis, and then she was bound to a wheelchair. And that sort of got her started on her journey of, searching for answers. She was told she was never going to walk again, and lo and behold, she takes on a whole food plant-based diet, and she is unstoppable now.
And miracles occurred. Now, I know that you're not going to do any cooking today, which we're sad about, but we understand because you have something else to talk about. But if you don't mind, everybody on the chat is asking me to ask you one cooking question, because we don't know who else to ask, because this came up yesterday in the show. So I had this lovely guest who's in the bundle, Vegan Michelle, and she was making, her husband is Polish, so she made this Polish soup. And then we talked about, recreating, favorite recipes veganized that her husband liked. And one of them is pierogies. And she said she's able to recreate it vegan, but not without using vegan butter. And I think she said she used something like either a quarter cup or a half a cup. And I didn't have a problem. I don't have a problem with it at all. But there are people that can still eat flour because it's, it's low fat, it's oil free. But I said I would ask you, is there any way she could recreate a pierogi, whether it had flour or not, without having to use like oil or butter? And if you don't know right now, you can think about it.
Remind me, pierogies are like stuffed, like
I'm going to look it up. I think they're dumplings. I'm
yeah,
not.
like stuffed dumplings, right?
I think so. Maybe like a wonton, but okay, I'm going to look it up because I really don't. I've heard of it, but I don't know. Okay, pierogies um, are dumplings made by wrapping unleavened dough around a savory or sweet filling and cooking in boiling water. They are often pan fried before serving.
Yeah. So easily you could steam them, and then in order to get that sort of fried, pan fried kind of thing, you can finish them off in a nonstick pan. So have them in the steamer ready, and while they're steaming, have your nonstick pan heating up, so that when the pierogies are done, you can take them off right away. I would pat them really quickly on a paper towel just to get off any excess moisture, and right onto that hot nonstick pan.
But what is she going to use instead of the butter when she's making the dough?
I could certainly see using tahini would be one.
Good
Uh,
one. That's a good one.
I Yeah, I know that some places, I think maybe certain Whole Foods, because not all Whole Foods are created equal, and some of them you can make your own nut butters. So they'll have the dispensers there, and then you put in the almonds or the cashews, put them in the machine, and out they come. So she could use some of that as well.
Great. Thank you. I knew you'd have an answer. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right. So tell us about the course that you contributed to the bundle.
Right. So when you approached me about this, and you said that the bundle was going to be focused on weight loss, I thought that my latest course that I did, Solutions for a Healthy Lifestyle, was more in line with that. Not that my cooking courses are not, but I had imagined and guessed that you were going to have a whole bunch of chefs on here. So I thought I don't want to just do more and more and more recipes, because knowing from my own personal struggles, to me, weight loss and maintaining a healthy weight is just like any relationship. In order to have a healthy relationship, you need two things. You need a good partner, and that I already have because I have the healthy cooking down. But aside from the right partner, you need to have the right approach, the mental approach, the right mindset. Because I can cook healthy, low fat foods the day after day after day, but I still struggle with it myself. And the part that I struggle with is that mindset. How do I stop myself from craving things that I don't want to eat, kind of a thing. So then I created that health Solutions for a Healthy Lifestyle program, precisely geared towards that, to the mindset of, how do I deal with cravings? How do I deal with emotional eating? How do I live by myself, but I hear this a lot from a lot of my clients is, Chef Bravo, I have the best of intentions. I really want to do this correctly, and I have a great plan in place. But the problem is no one else in my household wants to go along with it. And that really deters me. And I will last a day or two before I just give in to whatever else they want to do. So I started, researching and tackling those problems. And so my course is a video course, 20, 30, I think about 30 plus lectures, all geared towards these precise problems. And so I thought, if there's going to be, and I think you mentioned over 1,000 recipes, that's great. But how about some of the right mental approach to this? And I'm not a professional certified health coach or wellness coach or psychologist or anything like that, like some of the other contributors on here. I don't have their qualifications. But I know I struggle with a lot of these things, so I speak from personal experience. And as I mentioned, as by talking to some of these ladies, they share their own personal stories with me, and how they got into all of this. Um, and so, I think that plus seeing a lot of patients at True North, that I think that qualifies me to speak on the subject. So um, that's kind of my course, dealing with things like that. There's also another of the big questions is, Chef Bravo, how do I uh, stay healthy if I'm going to go to a restaurant? How do I order at a restaurant? Because that seems to be a big one. And so I tackle that problem with multiple strategies. It's actually, I think, the longest lecture that I have on there, because I explain it from not only the customer side, saying, I am here, I am a paying customer, and I would like to have a meal prepared in a certain way. But I also present it from, excuse me, from the side of the restaurant. And, there's a big discrepancy between those two. And so I do my best to bring it together so that both sides can get what they need.
That is amazing. That is like, we don't have to necessarily watch in order, do we? Because that is,
No.
yeah.
You can jump to back and forth to any of them.
That is amazing. Well, this is going to be fantastic, because I love that you're seeing it from the side of the person wanting it and the side of the person producing the meal, because we don't look at them all the time when we're hungry and we want our food the way we want it. We just think,
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, why can't you make me this? And sometimes they can't, and I would much rather have them be honest about it. That's why. Do you recommend calling ahead, though? I mean, if at all possible.
Yeah, that's a big part of the strategy on that. And, you experienced that yourself when, you took me to Rancho La Puerta and we needed to get in touch with the kitchen and just sort of explain what you needed, because you were complaining to me about your food, and say, well, let's take care of this.
Yeah, and luckily, and you spoke the language, so you got me what I wanted as a chef and as a Spanish-speaking person. It was amazing. Yeah. So, do you have at True North? Is it a problem for you getting people food they want, or are you pretty much able to because in your case, it's not like they're being difficult. It's because the doctor has told you this, right?
Yeah. Being there almost 15 years now. Can you believe that? I think I've seen just about everything. So there is no request that I really haven't dealt with in terms of dietary needs. The biggest, the most problematic one, I would say, is people who can't have onions or garlic.
Yeah.
Because that makes it really hard. Being that I'm a SOS free chef and I can't use any salt or flavor enhancers of that nature, not being able to get some flavor into the food via onions and garlic, that makes it really hard.
It's really hard. You're so right. What's the weirdest request you ever had?
The weirdest request, maybe a couple of people who need to gain weight at True North because they are so skinny. That's, I guess, the weirdest one, because again, we are so focused on getting people at a lower weight and deal with all other issues. So when there's somebody who needs to gain weight, that's, we get them every now and then, and it's not difficult necessarily, but it's so strange, being that our day-to-day operations is get him skinnier, get him healthier, get him to get rid of their diabetes and all their medications and their blood pressure and all that. So
right, so they just have to take calorie density and flip it around and eat everything to the right instead of the left. And you guys have healthy fats like avocado, nuts, and seeds.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. And I guess also there, from time to time, it's uncommon, but we do have to give people salt sometimes because their blood pressure is so low. So, and we treat it like this super, don't share it with anybody. Okay. We're watching you,
That is hilarious. That is so funny. I love that. Yeah. How many different, either interviews or segments or people are in your course?
So I divided into three sections. One of them is relationship with food. So that's where the cravings, there's a whole section on how to pick produce. I don't necessarily cook, but I have a table full of things and I go item by item on how to pick them at the grocery store. And then there are multiple other things that deal with just the food itself. Then there is the mental aspect. That's where we go into the emotional eating and as I mentioned, how do I deal with my family because they don't want to go along with this healthier lifestyle that I want to do. So there's that module, and then I have multiple guest speakers come on the program as well. We have multiple doctors and a certainly sparkly lady who lives down in India as well made a guest appearance on there. So I think there's somewhere in the 25 to 30 lectures in there.
Are there any doctors in the bundle? I mean,
absolutely.
Not the bundle, in your course, excuse me. Your course
absolutely. Yeah, the lovely Dr. Jessica Krantz came on to do a thing on skincare. Dr. Shelby Harris, who is a sleep specialist out of New York. Dr. Heidi Crockett, who is a psychotherapist. I think that's her title. And she actually talks about dating, which is a big issue for a lot of people. Dr. Chilavaresh also came in to do a couple of things about nightshades and autoimmune issues. I have a certified wellness coach, Curtis Eaton, out of Buffalo, New York as well. And I'm sure I'm forgetting something. Someone.
Funny. So many of the people you mentioned happen to be contributors to the bundle.
Yeah, there's a couple of them in there.
That is so cool. Susanna, who's watching live, said, I made Chef Bravo's vegetable stock from his cookbook, which is just excellent.
There you go. So, and as I mentioned, when somebody says I can't have onions and garlic and we can't put that in the broth, it makes it hard to, make very flavorful food for people.
When they're saying that, do you think it's a personal preference, or are the doctors really saying they can't have it, or maybe a little of both?
A little of both. I think there are some people who follow Buddhist religion practice, and that's onions and garlic are a no-no for certain Buddhist.
Brahma Kumari sect, I remember that, and so they use something called Asafoetida or Asafoetida. Do you know what I'm talking about? Hing. They can use a spice called Hing. Hing.
No, I'm not familiar with that, but I know that that's some of the thing. And there are other people who are can be allergic, or it just kind of wreaks havoc in their system. So a little bit of both.
Yeah, that's got to be rough, because to me, I can't. I don't want to say I can't, but I really enjoy life with onions, both cooked and raw. It's like we were talking yesterday to Matt Bennett, who was on the show, and he's in the bundle creating 5-star salad mastery. Like, it's really hard for me to eat a salad if there's not even a little bit of red onion or scallions, because onions to me are the flavor of life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But I think in Buddhist practice, they say that onions and garlic create, I think, sensual desire.
So what's wrong with that?
Well, for Buddhists who want to be like very spiritual, and they want to, achieve a certain level of consciousness, that becomes a distraction. So, I don't think you and I could be Buddhist monks.
No, not at all. Dina says, I watched one of Chef Bravo's recent videos describing the bundle. He was very thorough and went through a lot of information. I got the bundle from his show. I hope he gets credit. As long as you use the link he provided on his show, or the link I'm providing with him as my guest, then he will get credit. And we at least I'm very careful about that. So I assume when you did it, you put your link in. I mean, why else? Why would somebody else?
I wouldn't have anybody else.
Yeah. The truth is, guys, we only have our own links. I mean, other than when they give it to me for the show, we don't have, it's like a PIN number. We don't really have access to anybody else's link. So yeah, very nice. Thank you for doing that, Dina. She says, tell Chef Bravo to look out for me in July. I'm visiting True North.
Okay, I'll be there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
So
actually, I hope it's not July 17th through the 24th because I'll be in Rancho La Puerta.
oh, you got booked that week? Nice,
Yeah,
nice. Yeah, and July's a nice month there. It's really not too hot there. It's nice.
yeah, yeah.
Wow, that's great. Chef Bravo needs to get, it's called Asafoetida, Asafoetida /hing. And they are allowed to have that. It's a dried spice, but for some reason it gives, Chef Darsh and the Chef Thacker on the GI Health Summit used it because for people that have to be on a low FODMAP diet for a while, that can't have onion and garlic, that you might want to check it out because it's,
I'll check it out. Sure.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I wonder if Nick from Local Spicery has it. I'll have to ask him, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll look it up.
Yep.
I'm always on the lookout for
Have
new
you
spices.
used sumac yet? Because I'm really enjoying using that.
Yeah, except I don't use it as a salt kind of thing because it does not taste salty at all to
But
me.
it tastes good though. I mean,
It tastes good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. We ended up the last time I used it, I did a sumac and butternut squash dressing. So it was the sweet and sour kind of thing because that's what sumac tastes to me. It has a tamarind, sour tones
It's
to it.
like it's a citrusy kind of thing. I really think
Kind
it's
of, yeah.
delicious. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, Nick from Local Spicery does have it, and I'm told it's pronounced Asafoetida. I think I pronounced that correctly. And there, Jerry's saying, could you use the green salt? So I'm pretty sure. I mean, Dr. Goldhammer said no, but I got this salt that's 50% less sodium because it's made from sea asparagus and they grow it in Mexico. And so it does have the sodium because it grows in the, in the seawater.
In the ocean.
But it tastes exactly like salt, but it has, half the sodium. The thing is it's green. So I'll have to try to get you some of that, but you probably couldn't use it at True North, but
Probably not. Yeah.
Oh, hing is super stinky. Okay. I've never had it. So, but I wonder how it ends up tasting like onion or garlic if it's super stinky. That's interesting. I wonder what they make it out of. Yeah. How long did it take you to film the course?
Oh, let's see. We film 3 days at a hotel nearby. We took one of the conference rooms and we turned it into a set. Essentially, there was no remnants of the hotel room where we were at. So it was fun. We had this really big room. And once all the equipment, the cameras, the stage, everything in there, the room shrunk so much. But it was fun. It was fun doing it. We had live audience the first day, and it was interactive. They participated. I gave them for one of the lectures. I can't forget which one, but I gave them a little container with certain foods, and I had them taste it in order. When we got the reaction, and we talked about. This is what happens with your taste buds as you eat your food. Oh, it's the one where you go, okay, what happens when my food needs salt? And we don't want to consume salt, and so that's why I gave them the little container of food, and I had them taste it in certain order so that they could understand that the taste buds can be awakened by many other flavors other than salt. So that's where that one came in.
Yeah, but it takes them a little bit of time, doesn't it?
I think it takes a little bit of understanding, which is part of the reason why I did that specific lecture, and we focused just on the taste buds. I think once you understand it, then you kind of go about in your way and you taste the food, a particular food, a dish that you either make yourself or someone gives you. Then you try to remember that, this is why this isn't tasting so great because it's missing this particular item. Even though my brain is telling me it needs salt, it doesn't have to be salt in order for me to make it taste better. And that was the whole point of that lecture.
Right, because I don't think people are necessarily seeking salt; they're seeking flavor.
Correct. But we're so used to it doesn't have enough flavor, it needs salt. It doesn't have enough flavor, it needs salt. It's that sort of automatic reaction. Yeah, and so I try to change that narrative for people.
And when I've never understood, and I don't know how you feel about this because you came as a chef from a hotel, is people that salt the food before even tasting it. Like, how do you
Right.
know? How do you know?
Yeah, everybody's seen that. You're sitting down somewhere and somebody sitting next to you is like, doing this thing before they even taste it. And you go, wow, what are they doing? And what happens is their resistance to sodium is so high that they automatically know that whatever is being given to them won't have enough salt, without understanding the fact that if they would just lower their resistance to the sodium, they could just eat their food without all that extra salt and without all the health problems that comes with it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So do you ever see, other than the people that where it's medically necessary for you to give them the tiniest bit of salt, you ever see people sneak it in?
No, but I would imagine that it happened. There are sometimes when we walk into a room and we smell things and you're like, that is not a smell that should be here, but hey.
That is funny. Did Dr. Goldhammer make any cameo appearances?
No, I did not have him on there. I don't know why necessarily. It's not like I couldn't add another lecture and put it on the program. I can certainly add to it, and I have been adding to it. But there was so much that I had sort of prearranged ahead of time that
okay,
that he didn't make it.
All right, so here's something that I'm glad I noticed because in case somebody else has the problem. Vicky says, I tried to access Chef Ramses Bravo's course in the bundle and it says invalid code. So if that happens, what should somebody do?
Send me an email and I can certainly fix that for you very easily. Ramses, RAMSES @bravopv.com, and I will take care of it.
You know what I could do is just to see that, make sure that it's a working code. I could just, while you're talking, I'll try to access it and see what happens to me. But if it only happened to one person, please don't forget to, to write him. So I'm going to try to access it right now. You want to, even though we're here to talk about the bundle, do you want to tell people what your other courses are?
Sure. So in my website, bravopv.com, I do have my other two first courses, the Simple Foundations to Plant-Based Cooking and the Advanced Techniques to Plant-Based Cooking. And those are all exclusively all about cooking, all about, how to get your kitchen organized and how to get it going, how to make sure that you're using your knife properly. And then we go into lots of recipe makings and, we got soups, salads, dressings, desserts, vegetables, starches, you name it. I cover just about everything. Yeah.
Cool. All right. I am trying to access it right now, and I'm going to tell you live on the air if it works, because I have an idea of why it might not work sometimes. Yeah,
okay.
For me. So what I'm going to suggest to people is that when you buy the bundle, everything is a PDF because we can't deliver like 111 courses, and then you click on it. So Vicky, what I would say is try again, make sure that you're clicking on the URL, don't cut and paste, click on it. And then with the code, cut and paste. Because I find sometimes when people try to type stuff, it doesn't work as well as clicking. But I
would also suggest, because I've been experiencing this, sometimes your browser is either not up to date or some other thing. A lot of times if you switch browsers, things magically get fixed, not just on the bundle. I've been experiencing this with different websites that I've been trying to work with. And my Safari just is clunky. So I completely switched out of that and I started using Chrome, and suddenly no more problems.
And the latest version too, always make sure. So I would try again. Yeah. And then if not, please email Chef Bravo directly and I'm sure we'll get you in the course. Let's see if there's any, I'm glad I caught that because I have a very robust chat that is bigger than everybody else's because I'm streaming to so many places. Let's see what I saw a question.
And while you guys, while you look through that, AJ, I will say this, I was sort of hesitant at first when you asked me to join this because it just seemed it was different to me. So like most of us, with new information, we're like, oh, what is this? Is this something that will fit? But just, I think in the beginning you said, there's going to be about 50 people that are going to contribute this. We're going to try to get 50, and we'll put this whole bundle together. And as it turns out, there's over 100, more than double. And I think that it's very, we'll say, common to try to help people with weight loss issues, because it's such a common thing that people want to, get under control. But after reading the list of everything that's in the bundle, I think there's a very well-rounded group of individuals that sort of took on it, from their own perspective. So there isn't just a whole bunch of, weight loss recipes. There's all of this other mental aspect of it, which is actually, as I've gone through my own bundle, that's the things that have caught my attention the most in the beginning. There is ebooks on, how to deal with binge eating, which is, a big issue for some people. And there's an audio guide on how to deal with emotional eating and all these other things that, deal with the mental aspect as well as the actual food. So I'll call it a very well-rounded education, so that it isn't about weight loss, but more about a healthy relationship with food, and a healthy living perspective. I'll call it that.
Nice. Thanks. Is there anything in the bundle that you're interested in looking at?
Yeah, a few things caught my attention. I have my list here in front of me. There is, first of all, Andrew Mallon's sort of, I don't know if it's a guide or a course, and he's the most organized man in America.
Did you meet him? Was I with you at Rancho when I met him, or was there a different time? Because
I saw one of his presentations, and it was so practical, easy to understand. And, I came home and I applied it right away, and I'm like, oh man, this is great. And so he's got a whole course, I think, mini course on here. So I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see what else what other useful information I can get from him.
It's called Calling BS on Busy, and it's really good. Yep.
Yeah, and it you could say that it has nothing to do with weight loss, but I think if you get your home in a place where it's a space where you feel comfortable and inspired, rather than this messy, cluttery, everywhere kind of thing, that's a much better approach to try to be, in a healthier lifestyle. So that has caught my attention. There is a guide about overcoming emotional eating, as I said, called Hunger Games, which I thought it was a nice play on words, being that that's a very popular book and movie. There's that. There's even a unseafood cookbook, which I definitely want to look at a little bit later. So the lady, Cindy Thompson, came up with recipes that taste like, seafood, but they're all plant-based. So I'm very curious about that. And there's just other stuff, there's, I think, Dr. Peacock, I forget, Stephanie Peacock has a whole meal planning guide. And I spoke with Sarah Levite, who has an audio guide, again, on the mental aspect of, healthy relationship with food. And then there's, eventually I will get to the exercise. There's a ab workout thing that I really want to jump into and see what I can do with it.
Well, there's something for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
For sure. And that's why I keep posting your link. Linda Middlesworth saying that she doesn't have Chrome and she needs help finding everything in the bundle. If you need tech help, well, we don't actually supply that with the bundle, but it is in alphabetical order if that helps you when you download it. So
there you go.
Yeah, very cool. Well, like I said, I had no problem logging into your course just now. And I think what people need to do is click links, cut and paste passwords rather than typing it in, because it worked for me and I got it delivered like literally, within seconds.
Okay. There you go. That worked.
Well, great. Well, thanks, Ramses, for being in the bundle. I didn't know you had some hesitation, but I tried to ask everybody at True North. And do I use a PC or a Mac? I have a Mac for sure. But the thing is, it doesn't matter what your computer is because you can download everything on your phone if you like, or your iPad.
That's right. Yeah. And maybe, hesitation wasn't the right word. It was just a new, like, I think I experienced what some people out there might feel like. When you talk about having so much content for $49, you're like, oh, that, what's the catch?
That's the thing.
It's too good to be true. Well,
the catch is that they have only 10 days to buy it. That's the only catch.
So there you go. March 2nd, 12 p.m. Pacific time, right?
11:59 p.m. Pacific time. And Ramses' website is his last name, bravopb.com. www, and I put in the website.
Yeah, you can see on the jacket here.
Yeah, because sometimes if people with there's like an extra space, so I would definitely try to do it again because it definitely works. Deborah says Ramses's course is worth so much more. So yeah.
Well, as AJ was mentioning, you with the bundle, you get my course, and for a mere $1.05 more, you get everything else.
I know that's why it's like, I mean, it's a no-brainer. And then once it's gone, because we'll probably do the bundle again next year and we'll invite the same people back, but not the same products. So if you want it for the price, so you can wait and then buy his course for another $47, or you can have it now and get another 111 courses. The choice is yours. Wonder what I should do.
And I guess every bundle that you do has a different focus, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, this is the first one that I've been involved with the producing of it, and with Lissa from Raw Food Romance. The ones I participated in 8 before, and yes, one had an athlete kind of focus, one had a raw food focus, one was a general vegan one. But I really decided that I wanted to create one because so many of the people that I work with, and you too, are wanting to lose weight, recover from emotional eating, binge eating, food addiction. And in the previous bundles, while they were wonderful and they were vegan, they had a lot of, hyper palatable recipes with a lot of oil and things. And I didn't want to trigger people with that. So I wanted it kind of focused on the work that we're doing. Yeah. Gina says, go ahead. Sorry.
So I was going to say, if you want, the weight loss bundle, you got to jump on this one because it'll be something else.
That's
next
right.
Time.
Gina says, I never hesitate to buy every course by Chef Bravo. They are amazing. And Jerry says, the bundles cover so many important topics. And yeah, I'm really honored that so many of the doctors did it. And Randy says, there's no reason not to get the bundle. It's such a gift. And speaking of gifts, you can give the bundle as a gift. And let me show you how, because we've been getting a lot of correspondence for people saying, I don't know how to do it as a gift. Basically, what you do is you put in the other person's email. So when you get to this page, you just put in their email instead of yours, and you don't have to have a PayPal account to buy it. You can use it. You still have to go through PayPal, but you can just use a simple credit card, or you can go through Stripe.
There you go. That's always, a great thing. It's such a great deal that I think I was looking at Dr. McDougall's program, for example. He sells for $99. So for the price of his program, you can get one for yourself and one for somebody else, and you get everything. You and your friend, person you're giving it to, you get everything. Everybody gets everything. So.
I know. It's so cool. There's a comment, hoping next year's bundle will be spaced a bit apart for the Truth About Weight Loss Summit, a bit easier on our budget. So I have to work with people that I'm working with when they can do it. But we went back and forth with this, and we realized not everybody bought the summit. And for less than the price of the summit, they would still, because people after the summit were like, well, what's the next step? What's the next step? So therefore it happened when it happened. And we didn't want to do it the first of the year because there was so many bundles on there already. Yeah. So
quick comments, just to pass it on. Somebody said something about for next time, maybe we don't start it on, or we don't end it on the 1st or 2nd of the month, because there's people who are on fixed incomes. So they need to figure out, they're expensive.
So I wanted to only do the bundle for a week because it's a lot of work. And Lissa said no, because some people don't get paid till the 1st of the month. So we actually extended it. One thing we'll do next time is, instead of starting it on a Monday, we'll start it on a Saturday. So we have 2 weekends, where people be watching the shows. So we'll try to do it. I mean, I will say, if somebody is on a fixed income, unless it's changed, PayPal used to allow you to make 6 payments of anything. I don't know if maybe
Oh,
somebody in the chat can tell me if that's true, but in the past, PayPal allowed payments, which means for 49 divided by 6 is like 750. Like you could pay 750 a month for 6 months. Somebody maybe can verify that, but in the past that was true.
there you go.
You could defer payments on PayPal. So yeah. And
And I also want to comment on something. I saw the little bit of your interview with Dr. Jessica Krant, and she was describing her summit that she's going to do, not the summit,
the
live.
live event.
Yeah, and then you asked her to change her whole time just because it conflicted with your schedule.
Well, the reason I did that, Ramses, it was the anniversary show. And it was not just the regular show. And it was Dr. Goldhammer and Dr. Lyle. And they've been booked for a year. And as it turned out, it wasn't, nobody had registered yet. So it was only, yeah, I respectfully asked her to do that because it's kind of an important show. It's like the first show of season 3, and they're really spectacular guests. Not that all my guests aren't. So yeah, I mean, she could have said no, but she didn't. So
They're like, oh, just change your whole thing for me, okay?
well, I mean, also because I wanted to attend her workshop too. That's the other reason. So, hey,
I know, I'm just giving you a hard time.
That's okay.
She's so great.
Thank you for the compliment on my top, Wanda. Thank you very much. That's very nice. Oh yeah, Anna's saying my retreat's in there. I did a retreat with Holistic Holiday and See that with lots of wonderful people like Carly Bodrug and Dr. Ruth. I was going to say Westheimer, Dr. Ruth Heydrich. I don't know why I say that. Oh, it's 4 payments now. So I stand corrected, but Jackie is saying that for people on a fixed income, so it would be 4 payments. So it would be about $12.25 if somebody wanted to take
I'll pass that on to Mary was the name of the person that asked me about that. Okay.
Yeah, absolutely. That's great. All right. Well, this has been so much fun. Guys, check out the course. It's fabulous. And you get it for pretty much the price of the bundle if you buy it right now, or actually up until Wednesday. And I'm recommending you buy it from Chef Bravo's link, which I've been posting feverishly in the chat as well as it's in the show notes.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thanks for having me, AJ. Good talking to everybody. If you have any questions on food in general, I receive daily messages about, what about this food? What about that food? What pan do I use? What electric burner do you recommend? I always welcome all your questions. I may not get to them right away, but please, if you have a question regarding food, you can always email me at ramses@bravopb.com and I will get back to you.
I'll put that in the chat in the show notes. So are you using your pressure cooker now?
I am. Yeah,
good.
Look, I have the lid here handy because I just cooked some black beans.
Good, because I know for a while you were kind of like not thinking it would like a real chef would use it, but man, they're really great.
I totally see the application and the helpfulness of it for somebody who isn't a chef, where they can, a busy individual, and they're like, I'm just gonna put these beans in here and I gotta go because I'm busy, I gotta work or kids or this or that. And when I come home, boom, food ready to go. So I can totally see the purpose of it now.
Well, good. And maybe one day you'll like the air fryer too.
I'm out of space here on my counters. You see, I have my, all my stuff here. And then the Instapots on the other corner. I don't have any more space. So.
All right. Well, thanks so much, Chef Bravo. And thanks all of you for watching another episode of Chef AJ Live. Please come back in a little over 2 hours when we have Elspeth Spellman, the speedy vegan, who's probably going to be whipping up something delicious. And at 3 p.m., Stacy Heine from the Urban Pharmacy, who's going to be making something with sumac, and she has a sauce recipe guide in the book. So thanks again, Chef Bravo. Say hi to everybody at True North. Bye-bye.
I will.